It is a great time to be an audio enthusiast on a budget, especially as it relates to loudspeakers. And Fluance has made a name for themselves over the past 20 years by offering enthusiasts high-value, high-performance loudspeakers for both two-channel audio as well as home theater. And their new reference series is no exception. So settle in, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, because today we are taking an in-depth look at Fluance's new XL8F Reference Series floor standing loudspeaker. This video is sponsored by Fluance. Fluance reached out to us and asked us to make a walkthrough video of their brand new XL8F Reference Series floor standing loudspeaker so that you may have a better understanding of what makes this particular speaker so unique, not to mention how it may stack up against other loudspeakers on the market right now. And while this isn't a review, having lived with this loudspeaker for several weeks now, I will be sharing with you some of my personal thoughts and experiences along the way. The Reference Series sits in the middle of Fluance's lineup of loudspeakers, right between their Elite and Signature series. Now, all of the Reference speakers come in your choice of two finishes, black ash or walnut wood veneer. You're seeing the walnut wood veneer throughout this video, but all of the Reference Series speakers come with a high gloss black front baffle as well as magnetic removable grills. Now, we've been enjoying the tower speakers with their matching center and bookshelf loudspeakers serving as surrounds. While the Reference Series speakers, specifically the towers we're talking about today, may look like their predecessors, they have been completely re-engineered from the ground up. From a style standpoint, the new Reference Series tower has been made to look more streamlined and modern. While its form factor is largely unchanged, it's the attention to detail throughout that impresses me most. Fluance has managed to make the front baffle of this loudspeaker largely seamless, going to great lengths to hide any and all mounting hardware for 2020. It's a look that is usually reserved for costlier loudspeakers. The contrast between the black front baffle and the new white woven drivers is especially nice and adds a bit of graphic punch. Beyond mere cosmetic changes, a lot has been done to the new Reference Series towers to differentiate them from the previous model. Now, the Reference Series towers have each been equipped with an 8-inch downward-firing subwoofer driver. This no doubt gives the loudspeaker its low-end grunt, enabling it to reach frequencies down to 35 Hz, which in some rooms may make the need for an outboard subwoofer completely optional. This saves you on space as well as money. I can say from firsthand experience that the Reference Series towers are not lacking in the bass department, and in our room, no subwoofer was required. In fact, when watching cinematic sequences like the Mars landing from Netflix's Away, the Reference Series towers transported us to the cockpit of that spacecraft for one heck of a visceral experience. The Reference Series towers utilize dual 6.5-inch woven mid-range drivers, configured in a Diapolito-style array. This means that the tweeter sits between the matching mid-range drivers for more coherence. Now, Fluance has moved to a new woven design which cuts down on vibrations while improving its linear response. If you are a fan of acoustic music, maybe vocalists, or you just like your favorite actors to have a little bit more of a natural tone, not to mention in-room presence, I think you're really going to like what Fluance has done here with respect to the mid-range. The silk dome tweeter used in the Signature line is carried over into the Reference line here, and no sound effect or note will escape this particular tweeter as it extends all the way up to 25 kHz. Now, if you watch this channel, you know that we are big fans of silk dome tweeters, and that when implemented correctly, a silk dome tweeter can sound just as good as a tweeter with more esoteric materials. And that has been our experience as it relates to the Reference Series tweeter here. Not to mention, it just plays well with a wide range of source material. The speaker cabinet is incredibly inert, and this is thanks to its internal bracing. Now, Fluance did experiment at some length with a lot of different bracing schemes with this tower speaker to cut down on unwanted low-end resonances. And for a budget-minded loudspeaker, it is incredibly well dampened, especially around the mid-range and tweeter section. Now, it utilizes dual rear ports to augment its bass response, not to mention cut down on low-end resonance. And while our attention is on the rear of the speaker, the Reference Series has gold-plated 5-way binding posts. It is also bi-wire and bi-amp capable. Another nice touch, both visually and performance-wise, is the inclusion of copper spikes. Now, copper spikes will help eliminate vibrations and distortions, which is an absolute must for a loudspeaker with as much bass power as the Reference Series Tower. Stepping away from the speaker's design and build quality, the Reference Series Tower looks and sounds like a full-range loudspeaker. The fact that it pulls this off passively is impressive. If anything, Fluance's reported frequency response claims here seem conservative. Because the low-end extension all the way down to 35 Hz, the experience you get from hearing that feels palpable. If anything, this loudspeaker has better bass response than a lot of costlier speakers. And it's that added bass response that lends a greater sense of scale and grandeur to both music and movies. While it can be easy to get caught up in the Reference Series bass response, we cannot overlook its mid-range. If you like a fuller, weightier, but not too romanticized of a mid-range, I think you're really going to like the new mid-range drivers here. The mid-range easily matches the bass in terms of scale, so there's not these huge gaps between the two. As a result, vocals have a more true-to-life sound in terms of their scale and weight, with good detail throughout. And the tweeter that is carried over from the Signature Series is a nice addition here. It really hits a sweet spot for me, as I consider it to be very balanced and detailed, but not critical. So when I listen to recordings that I know to be poor or less than, it doesn't fall to pieces or become aggressive, but it isn't so rolled off as to lack extension or shimmer. The towers can serve up a pretty solid soundstage, both with music and movies. Center imaging and detail throughout are both great. I've been especially impressed with this speaker's dynamic prowess, mainly our ability to get dynamics out of it very easily using budget gear like our Sony 1080 receiver. In truth, it has been easy to drive using affordable electronics, which is not always the case with a lot of full-range tower loudspeakers. On a whole, the Reference Series towers are just an elegant, easy-to-drive loudspeaker that I think enthusiasts are going to get a lot of enjoyment out of. At their asking price of just under $600, they are an exceptional value. Fluance has paid attention to the little details here, from the seamless front baffle to the hidden mounting hardware. Heck, that little Canadian flag on the back goes a long way in making an affordable speaker look and feel more high-end. So that wraps up our in-depth look at Fluance's new XL8F Reference Series floor-standing loudspeaker. What did you guys think? If you want more information on these loudspeakers or any of the loudspeakers in the Reference Series, links will be in the description below. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and ring that bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. If you use any of the links left for you down below, that is a great way to show your support for this channel and the work that we do here, and know that Christy and I thank you very much. You can follow me on Instagram at Recovering Audiophile, and that's it. So one final thank you to Fluance for sponsoring this episode and allowing us to share their new speakers with all of you. And remember, the only person that has to like the sound of your system is you. Happy listening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.